It's already Tuesday again. Let's see what the vendors have for us today. Starting in the sewers, we have Glenumber treasure maps as a base game treasure map. I don't think this is worth 6,000 Telvar. We're going to have a need for base alliance treasure maps here soon, but I wouldn't spend Telvar on them. I would get the unknown maps or whatever from guild traders. There's going to be 4 new alchemy mats coming soon, and one of them is going to come from digging up treasure maps in base game zones. I've done a tiny bit of testing on that on PTS. I was getting 1 to 3 per map, but I don't know that it would be worth 6,000 Telvar, even if you did it to dig them up day one. Personal opinion. Take that for what you will. Glenumbra brings us Bloodthorn's Touch, Hide of the Werewolf, and Weird Tree's Blessing, as well as a chance for the leads for the Ancestral Orc, Bows, and Chest motif chapters. Our jewelry this week, we have Langur of Periite Amulet and Ring, as well as Neck and Ring of Powerful Assault. These are great if you do support roles. All right, we have our scripts. We have Bound Affix Script Cowardice adds Cowardice, a debuff reducing weapon and spell damage. Bound Affix Script Intellect and Endurance adds Intellect and Endurance buffs, increasing magicka and stamina recovery. Bound Focus Script Knockback adds a knockback. And Bound Signature Script Growing Impact adds enhanced buff and debuff application. Our fragment this week is Fragment of the Scrivener. This is one of 5 pieces of the Annulment Vibrant Yellow skill style, and this particular fragment drops from the final boss of Scrivener's Hall dungeon. Remember, this is a guaranteed drop, and it does drop in normal, but if you prefer to skip all that, you can get it here for 25,000 Telvar. And then our leads, we have Morph Olith Shank, which is part of Mark and Ring of Majesty, and this one drops from treasure chests in the Deadlands. Not terribly difficult to get, maybe a little time consuming. And then Stone Shank Frame, which is one of 5 pieces of Oaken Soul Ring. This one drops from High Isle Ore Node. So again, a bit of a grind, not difficult to get. If you'd rather bypass that, it's here for 25,000 Telvar. All right, let's head over to the Scholarium and see what scripts he has. All right, we've made our way to the Scholarium.
Ancient.
First up, we have Bound Affix Script Expedition adds Expedition, a buff increasing movement speed. Bound Focus Script Bleed Damage adds bleed damage. And Bound Signature Script Immobilizing Strikes adds an immobilization effect. All right, last up, Infinite Archive. And let's see what Violet Rule has.
Don't ask about what...
First up, we have a book, Apocrypha Apocrypha. This one drops in Scrivener's Hall, but the eidetic memory you just find on various bookshelves throughout Tamriel. Not too terrible. Our treasure map this week is Balfoyen. Again, just like I was saying earlier, I don't think this is worth the 2,000 archival fortunes when you can get them off traders so cheaply. But if you're curious, Balfoyen gives us Armor of the Trainee, as well as a chance for the leads for Ancestral Nord belts or staves motif chapters. And again, we're going to want base game maps coming up, end of September? I think September 28th is the current date for update 51 when the new alchemy mats come out. But I don't think this is the way to get it. I think there's better ways. All right, our first plan is Deadlands Table Long Edge. This runs 35 to 75k on PCNA. On PCEU, there are 3 listings, one for 40k, one for 50k, and one for 160k. So I think it's probably closer to that 40-50 range. Next up, we have Blueprint Nord Divider Folding. This runs 40 to 50k on PCNA. There are 2 listings on PCEU for 13 and 50. Next up, we have Bound Style Page Kargata Mask. This is from Coral Airy. The mask style page will drop about a 4-day window when it's brought back. So you have to kind of keep an eye on your calendar and ESO announcements. And then the drop rate's atrocious. And you have a better chance if you have hard mode. Hard mode Coral Area is no joke. I suggest just run some Infinite Archive and spend 15,000 archival fortunes here. This is a very handsome mask. I like it quite a bit. Next up, we have Companion Equipment Medium Armor. I typically don't recommend these. They are bound when you buy them this way. You're at the mercy of RNG as to what trait you get. Chances are you're not going to get something you want. So I say save your archival fortunes. Just go to Guild Traders. Our leads this week, we have Tied Glass Beads. This is one of 5 pieces of Harpooner's Wading Kilt, and this one drops from Shadowfin Alchemy nodes. Anybody who was here when Harpooner's Wading Kilt came out knows how awful this one is. They have made it easier. They've made it much easier. It's no longer water alchemy nodes or water. It is any alchemy node in Shadowfin now. It's still not a great drop rate, though. If you're like me and you're trying to get all 3 copies for Codex, yeah, I know we're insane, but there are several people like me. That second and third one are even more difficult, so it is here for 5,000 archival fortunes if that's something that you're looking for. Our second book is Obscure Killers of the North. This one drops in Infinite Archive, and the Eidetic Memory also drops in Infinite Archive. If you're not sure how the books work, you do need to know the Eidetic Memory or have that read in the wild before you can have a chance to either buy it or for it to drop in Infinite Archive in this case. You can read it in somebody's house. Unlike Mage's Guild books, you can read these in somebody's house and have that count. My guild halls are open on both PCNA and PCEU. Just go to the greenhouse and pardon the mess. They're all there at least. All right. Next up, Praxis Telvanni Lantern Organic Azure. This one runs 85 to 96k on PCNA and 60 to 75k on PCEU. You can turn it on and off. I think all of these patterns are decent options for your archival fortunes this week. Next up, we have Remnant of Deception. Consume 25 Remnants of Deception, along with 25 Remnants of Cruelty to unlock the Echo of the Abolisher achievement and the Echo of the Abolisher memento. Now, this one, both of these pieces drop from the public dungeons in Westweald, which is part of the Gold Road chapter, and you will need to own the Gold Road chapter in order to buy these or have ESO+. But this particular one drops in Cylorn Public Dungeon. So again, you'll need 25 of these, 25 of the other. They run 11 to 15k on PCNA. Not a bad option if you only need a few, especially. They have increased the drop rate of these. Your first of each day is supposed to be easier. But 1,000 archival fortunes isn't bad for these either, particularly if you're not trying to buy all of them. Next up, we have Shard of Writhing Bone. This is you need 25 of these to get the Caltrops Bone skill style. These drop from the dailies for the Writhing Wall event. I'm pretty sure they're still dropping that way. I haven't done any since the actual Writhing Wall event, but I found these very, very, very rare to drop. And I was one of those people that did not get this done before the end of the Writhing Wall event. So if you need more, like I do, on Guild Traders, they're 35 to 45k a piece. So I think 1,000 archival fortunes is a good option. So if you're trying to fill in the last of them, 1,000 archival fortunes a piece will get you there. All right, our scripts this week, we have Bound Affix Script Defile, adds Defile, a debuff reducing healing received. Bound Focus Script Frost Damage, adds Frost Damage. And Bound Signature Script Anchorite's Potency, adds a Consumed Soul Gem to grant ultimate effect. Our fragment is Disgusting Spoils. Consume 25 Disgusting Spoils to unlock the Scheming Skeever's achievement and the Malographic Skeever pet. Now, unlike the Writhing Bone piece or whatever, these are 3,000 archival fortunes apiece, and this is also a guaranteed drop if you just do enough of your Infinite Archive dailies. So I think this is really expensive for a pet if you buy them all this way, but if you're running enough Infinite Archive to accumulate all of these archival fortunes, because it would take you 75,000 archival fortunes to buy the pet, you're probably going to get at least a few along the way. So I would just keep running dailies, but that's me. It is here for 3,000 archival fortunes each piece, and you need 25 if you need them. And then our final lead is Amber Heart. This is one of 10 pieces of Barkroot Blessing. And this one can be found from the Galen World Boss Preserver of Galen. You only need to get this one once in order to get Barkroot Blessing. And here is the Barkroot Blessing skin. All right, that's everything. Let's run some Infinite Archive and see what new gear is dropping this week. We just finished 3 arcs of Infinite Archive, and this week it looks like in arcs 1 and 2, we have gear dropping from Malabal Tor that includes Salvation, Spinner's Garments, and Thunderbug's Carapace, as well as from Southern Elsewhere, which includes Dragon Guard Elite, Marauder's Haste, and Sinshal Defender. However, like in previous weeks, in Arc 3, we see Malabal Tor replaced with Deshawn. Deshawn gives us Mother's Sorrow, Night Mother's Embrace, and Plague Doctor. So in Arcs 1 and 2, Malabal Tor and Southern Elsewhere. 3 and above, it looks like Deshawn and Southern Elsewhere. Again, I think that's probably a bug. It's probably a low priority bug. But while it persists, we will bring you all 3 sets each week. All right, that's going to do it for this one. We'll see you next week.